The Pistons have gone from a punchline to packing some punch this year. The last two seasons, Detroit combined for 31 wins. That's in 2 years. And then this year, the Pistons, they finished the season with 44 wins. They were the first team ever to triple their total wins from the prior season in NBA history. Now, of course, success, it's a team achievement, but it's pretty hard to overlook the role that Cade Cunningham has played in all of this. He's had an all-star season, an all-NBA season. He was the first all-star for the Pistons since 2019. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, he spoke with Cade about the resurgence of this franchise.
I can't believe that team just lost 28 games in a row.
That is the longest streak in a single season in NBA history.
When you think about how your emotions were last year, based on what went on, do you ever look back at what transpired last year, or for you, as soon as that year was over, you looked the other way?
I've looked back on it a few times. I don't go back on it too much now, you know what I'm saying? I think, where we're at right now is everything that I assumed was gonna come whenever I was coming into the NBA. I was humbled whenever it took so long and it was so hard when I first got in. And so I'm just trying to take it step by step now and, really continue to grow this thing from the foundation up.
The first team in NBA history to triple their win total from the previous season.
What do you think has been the biggest reason for this turnaround for you guys?
Definitely just the culture that we've established now. We talk about all the time, like how it's crazy that we bond the way that we do.
Don't touch me, I'm sizzling. He's sizzling.
We have so many different personalities on the team, but everybody has a chip on their shoulder. Like having a group that has that type of edge throughout, I think that's what makes us a different group and it kind of separates us from the pack.
Do you guys ever think about the legacy of what it means to be a Piston, that Bad Boys era? Are you guys trying to be a reincarnation of that era?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in Detroit for long enough, I think it just naturally infectious, it's contagious, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's walking around with it, everybody kind of carries it with them. So I think that's, the first step of being an athlete in Detroit is you gotta play hard, you gotta have some type of grit. Grit is the word that everybody always uses.
Cade playing like a superstar tonight.
Hey, you're that guy. You're that guy, man.
This year, you're named an all-star, your first all-star. You're going to be competing for all-NBA team, competing for most improved player. Where do you feel like you stand with what you want to accomplish in this league?
I want to be the best player in the world. That's every day, you know what I'm saying? That's what my phone tells me every day is best player in the world, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I'm striving for, and having the best team in the world. I don't think there's too many players that you could argue above me. Obviously, the playoffs is going to determine a lot, and so that's why I'm just excited and looking forward to these series and getting this thing rolling and waking people up as far as what is in Detroit and the type of respect that we deserve.
So now in the NBA, there's a lot of chatter about face of the league, right? Obviously, you want to be the best player in the world, but when you think about that, how do you view the young face of the NBA? Where do you feel like you stack up?
I'm right there. I'm not trying to, push my case right now. I'm not trying to knock anybody else's case right now. I think at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and you get to watch all of us play and figure that out for yourself.
Cade Cunningham has shown New Yorkers what he's all about.
You're going to play the Knicks in the first round. You start off on the road at the Garden. What is that going to mean? You know the lineage, you know the history of not only these two teams, Knicks, Pistons, but also playing at the Garden. What is that first round series going to be in your mind?
It's going to be a war. It's going to be highly physical games, defense, battling it out on the glass, all of those different things. I think it's going to be a super exciting series for people at home to watch.
When you think about Reggie Miller and Trae Young had his moment at the Garden, those guys put themselves out there as kind of villains. Do you even envision how that's going to play out for you?
Nah, I mean, I'm worried about what's going on the court. If the guys on the other side is villain, then that's what's up. I'm not really too worried about the fan bases or all the other stuff. I'm just trying to lock in on the court, my team, and what it's going to take for us to win.
Cade has been the breakout star of the NBA season, and his rise has helped the Pistons ascend into the playoffs. He's putting up career numbers across the board with over 26 points, 9 dimes a night. His 9 triple-doubles, the third most in franchise history, and Cade is the first Piston to reach all of the totals on your screen in a single season. A couple of other Western Conference series I want to get to here, because other than the Warriors and the Rockets, we know that the Wolves, they'll take on the Lakers. Our Brian Windhorst has said that this Clippers-Nuggets series, it may may be one of the most interesting out of all of them. So let's go in the bonus on that matchup because it is sure to be a close one here. Let's start with Nikola Jokic. He heads into the series off another stellar season, one that may have been his best yet. He's averaged a triple-double for the first time in his career, making him the third player to do so, joining Oscar Robertson and his teammate Russell Westbrook. As for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard has played well heading into the postseason. We know Kawhi, he raises his game in the playoffs. Since joining the Clippers, he averages over 28 per game in the playoffs, seventh best in the NBA since 2020. Now, another matchup to keep an eye on here is actually on the sidelines. Ty Lue is a championship coach, has over 700 games of experience under his belt, while David Adelman, making his playoff debut, only has coached 3 games in his career to this point. So this UD is certainly going to be a little bit of a chess match here. We should break it down, but especially the battle of the big men here. What are you watching?
Something that is very rare in today's NBA. I think this series is going to come down to the bigs. So I'm watching Big Zoo go against Big Joker right here. So right now I'm looking at this matchup, and we watch what Zoo covers. He zones this pick and roll right now with Westbrook. It's a deep zone because Westbrook's not a shooter. Helps James on the drive and covers 16 feet to stop the shot and stay in the play. This is very, very underrated for a 7-foot, almost 300-pound guy and contest the shot without fouling right here. This is why he's one of my guys that I can say can really be Defensive Player of the Year. Now we come down to the second clip. Joker on Zubac. Nobody in the league can guard this one-on-one. 99% of the guys in the league will need help here. This is one-on-one, man-on-man, mano-a-mano. He matches Joker's strength, he matches Joker's size, and he also has the mobility to stand in front of Joker, contest every shot. I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Joker obviously had a hell of a year, but I think Zubac could propose some problems for him in this series.
Right, and to your point, I mean, being successful against Nikola Jokic, it's really kind of a matter of degrees, but you could say that no one has had more success guarding Nikola than Big Zoo here. He's defended him the second most of any player in the league since 2016. He's also held Jokic to his lowest field goal percentage against any defender during that time. So you're absolutely right. This is one of the matchups to watch here. But according to ESPN Bet, the Clippers, they are the slightest of favorites in this one, despite not having home court advantage. Why do you think that is, Brian?
They're not favorites. There's not a favorite in this series. It's a complete toss-up. Honestly, this is as hard of a series as I can think of trying to read in the first round in a long time, because there's just no way that the Clippers are a 5 seed. I reject the premise that they're a 5 seed because they went 18-3. They have 2 Hall of Famers in their starting lineup who are playing very well. Zubac is playing the best basketball of his career. They have excellent coaching, and they're going up against a team that, when Jamal Murray and Jokic are healthy, are pretty much unbeatable. And if you are going to beat them, it's going to take a Herculean effort. Honestly, I'd like to just sort of say that the team that might win, who's got the healthier player. Will Kawhi Leonard be healthy all the way through this series? Will Jamal Murray be healthy all the way through this series? Kawhi, unfortunately, has not finished the first round in the last 2 years. So I don't want to make an assumption, but I can hope. Jamal has, fought injuries throughout this entire year, but when he's been at his best, they've been hard to beat. So honestly, analyzing this series is very, very difficult. I just kind of want to watch it.
Absolutely. And one of the players that we haven't mentioned that I know we all want to see in this postseason is also James Harden. You cover the Clippers very closely. What have you seen from Harden this year?
And talking to Clippers people, the one thing they talk about really, besides his play this season, and remember, he kept the Clippers together when Kawhi Leonard was out for the first 2+ months, really got Norm Powell going, and you have to credit a lot of what Zubac is doing to James Harden. They've worked a lot of hours off the court with their pick and rolls. James Harden has taken a leadership role behind the scenes. From when I talked to a lot of Clippers sources, he's gotten the team together for numerous outings. He's kind of taken an ownership stake in this team, and I think that's why you've seen him play better. He's averaged 26 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, 40% three-point shooting in the month of April. You saw him hit 2 huge threes at the start of overtime in that must-win game over the Warriors. If he does that in the playoffs, the Clippers are going to be really tough to beat, because remember, he wants to erase some of these bad playoff moments he's had. He went 1 for 13 in the final 2 losses to Dallas last year in the first round. James Harden is going to be motivated to erase that bad taste out of his mouth.
And I think something that's underrated is James' leadership. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can have good coaching, you can have talent, but if you don't have the right leadership, I think you don't get anywhere. So we have to give him credit for being a leader. But what Kawhi has been able to do, if he's able to emulate that 2019 run, I know we're saying he has to be healthy, but if he's able to emulate that, I'm going with the Clippers.
Well, and you mentioned the two-man game between James Harden and Zubac. You talk about Jokic on offense and Zubac on defense, but it's going to have to flip. And Jokic getting brought into the Zubac-Harden pick and roll is going to be something that's interesting to watch. Remember, the Clippers, they ended the season on an 8-game winning streak. They won 10 of their last 11. They are firing on all cylinders. Hey, before we bounce, last night was the final broadcast for our Cassidy Hubbarth on ESPN. Cassidy spent the last 15 years as an integral part of the NBA project and now is headed to Amazon as a part of their NBA coverage this fall. Here is Mike Breen, Doris Burke, and Richard Jefferson wishing her well during the Heat Bulls broadcast last night in Cass's hometown.
Cassidy has been such a dedicated professional, a wonderful teammate, and most importantly, as kind of caring a friend as you could possibly have.
You are a star among stars, Cass. We're going to miss you. I will miss you.
Well, I know her as Mama Cass.
I guess.
I know her as Mama Cass.
Who's going to take care of you, RJ? I have no idea.
I would not be sitting here next to you two without the work that Cass has invested in me, supported in me, and I appreciate her so much, and I think she's going to do outstanding where she's at next.
You guys, I still have a post-game interview. You can't make me cry right now. We got to keep the makeup intact.
Cassidy is the best of the best. Just a quick story about Cass. When we were in the NBA bubble, she was assigned to the Milwaukee Bucks game, and it was going to be the first game after games had been paused. And it was going to be huge. I'd been covering the stoppage, and I was a beat writer for the Milwaukee Bucks. She called our bosses, and she said she knew she was the more senior reporter, but thought that I deserved a chance. And I cannot tell you how rare that is in this industry. She pulls people up with her. Her preparedness, her reporting chops, they're exceptional, and she's an even better friend. So, Cass, go get them, and we sure are going to miss you here on ESPN.